Good morning. You're welcome to today's Legal Literacy series with Lawyers Alert. My name is Kyenpya Katkuk. I'm a child rights advocate and I'm the Executive Director of Girl to Woman Development Initiative. Today I'll be talking about the resonance of albinism, which was shared on this platform a few days ago. I wrote this article out of my inspiration as a child. Um, Growing up, I had a problem with with the color of my skin because I thought there was something wrong with being black. I was constantly taunted by a boy who was always calling me Blackie, 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 like because we used to share the same bus home um, from school. And so I actually thought there was something wrong with my skin. And then when I got to my college year, I had this classmate who happened to be an albino girl, and I realized she barely had friends around her, but then she was constantly avoided by people. In spite of everything, like she was an extremely smart person, she was outspoken, and she was very confident, of which I admired so much. And so I would always put myself in the shoes of an albino person whenever I come in contact with them. So I kind of feel their insecurities and the discrimination that they face by virtue of their skin color. Um, but then I kind of understand that it's not their fault. That's just the way they've been created. And I also feel that they have a lot to offer to the world as much as every other person out there. These people are endowed with gifts. They have talents, they have abilities which can be of great help to anybody or any establishment or to even the community or even to the world at large. I would like to say that albinism is actually a genetic condition that has been profoundly misunderstood, and this has led to various forms of stigma. I'd like to say that albinism is not a disability. um, a few days ago, I was having a discussion with somebody, and she said, why isn't albinism mentioned in the Disabilities Act? But then I just want to make that correction that albinism is not a disability. It is actually a genetic condition. The sad part about albinism is that they are constantly dehumanized. They are physically attacked, and sometimes they are even killed due to the perception that they are magical beings, and so their body parts can be used for witchcraft rituals, particularly in parts of East Africa. Some persons even share beliefs that the condition can be physically transferred. I mean, how would you say that if I stand next to an albino, or if their body touches mine, um, it, I would actually become albino just by being around them or just by having skin contact with them. That's actually a very wrong notion. Um, I'm I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about the statistics, the current statistics as discovered by UNICEF, that there has been an estimated number of 2 million albinos living in Nigeria. With this population, Nigeria has the highest albinism prevalence in the world. Wow. And then children actually constitute about 40% of the estimated 2 million of albinos. That is actually quite a number. Children with albinism are actually the most vulnerable of all children. Their situation is further compounded by the fact that they are most susceptible to cancer due to their delicate skin type. And then quite a lot of them are not in school because of visual impairments, discrimination from other children, and social exclusion as a result of their skin. And then a lot of families are also very ignorant, and communities, and also the communities, sorry. And then sometimes the rationale is that parents of these children that have abilities, they don't want to enroll their children in school because they feel like it's a waste of their resources. I mean, why wouldn't you want to send your child to school? Why would you want to waste all that talent at home just because you feel your child is going to be discriminated against? I mean, that is something, that's also another wrong notion that I feel should be addressed by families and loved ones who also have albinos in their amongst them. Um, I would also like to say that their inability to see the classroom board from their desks also leaves them frustrated sometimes, and it puts a lot of pressure on them to drop out of school. Albinos do not have full social or economic tools to live productive lives, and sometimes they also lack the confidence to compete with others favorably in the labor market, and so they are not able to reach their potential. As a result of all this, the individual, that is the albino, and then the country, they both end up suffering because the skills of an albino person are not being tapped for the greater goal. So I'd like to conclude by saying that there is a need to address the challenges of persons living with albinism in homes, schools, communities, to create adequate education. There's a need to address this, this problem. I think that the public should be adequately educated, which is why we actually put up this live series. And we should also still buttress the point that albinism is not a disability, but it is a genetic condition. And so it should not be a ground for discrimination. I also feel that albinism should not be undermined by governments, and there should be a social welfare policy for the care of persons that live with albinism. Policymakers should also involve in helping curb the challenges faced by these persons living with albinism. So I would like to say thank you for listening to all that I've said, and I hope that you're able to share love to a person that you meet out there who happens to be an albino, and I hope that you're able to also educate the people around you about albinism. Thank you for having me. Bye.